There are two types of components required in electronics ecosystem. Firstly, it is active semiconductor components. Secondly, it is passive components. Now, the challenge for India is we never had a good active semiconductor manufacturing which requires wafer fabs, which requires ATMP OSAT packaging units, and as well as the component distribution. So we were completely depending on imports of semiconductor till now. And when it comes to the passive components, it is more of a commodity. And global players manufacture at a completely different scale. So Indian passive component manufacturing was never price competitive. So these are the main challenges that firstly, the semiconductor manufacturing is very complex. It is highly capital intensive. A wafer fab requires 4 billion to 10 billion type of investment. And there was no support from government earlier. And passive components, unless you plan at a global scale, you are not going to be competitive. And because of these two challenges, India never developed or focused on component manufacturing locally. And most of the components, more than 90% components used in electronics manufacturing are imported till almost even today. So now government has come up with semiconductor policy where central government under ISM India Semiconductor Mission is supporting 50% incentive for any company which is investing into semiconductor wafer fab, LCD, TFT manufacturing or compound semiconductor manufacturing including ATMP OSAT. And also most of the state governments are offering 20 to 25% incentive. What it means, if it is a $100 million project, almost 70 to $75 million support you are going to get from Government of India. And then you can get a good technology partner, and by investing only 30% or 25%, you are entering into semiconductor manufacturing. With this scheme announcement, now there are more than 10 proposals under consideration with India Semiconductor Mission. The biggest opportunity, if you ask me, for component ecosystem development is about passive semiconductors or passive components. Capacitors, resistors, inductors, relays, transformers, bare PCB. In a $100 system, $40 is component bill of material, out of which $25 is semiconductor, but $15 or 15% is contributed by passives, connectors, cables, and bare PCB. Now imagine India market is expected to grow to $300 billion. So our passive requirement is going to be $45 billion. And that's a huge opportunity because investment required for passive manufacturing are not big. You can start a passive component manufacturing even with an investment of 25 crore to 50 crore rupees and max up to, let's say, 500 crore rupees or 1000 crore rupees. And with the specs 2 program which government is going to launch soon, it is going to be more lucrative. So my advice is we should focus really hard on passive component manufacturing. It's a very large opportunity and it is going to be a play for MSME and medium industries because as I mentioned, investments are not really big. It is starting from 50 crore to 500 crore. So passive component is a very large opportunity for Indian MSMEs and Indian corporates. And definitely with semiconductor policy by Government of India, we can see in next couple of years first silicon coming out of Indian wafer fab and first silicon getting packaged in India. So component industry is going to be pretty big, and I think now India is really poised to take advantage of developing a good sound component manufacturing both in active semiconductor as well as passive components.